Tuning in for some movie reviews, film flickers of movie reviews. Let's hear those movie reviews, film flickers of movie reviews. And action!
Hi Flickers, welcome to another one of our Christmas specials. So we'll be going through some films that we personally really like to watch over Christmas. Maybe Christmas themed, maybe not. Obviously there are some really good Christmas films out there. So there's the Christmas Carol, which is always the great one that everyone goes to, and there are some other modern takes on Christmas as well. So I thought I'd mix it up with a little bit of both. So I've gone for the 1988 classic Scrooged, which is a really good, at the time, modern take on Christmas Carol. The film stars Bill Murray and also Carrie Allen. Now Bill Murray, of course, you know him from Bill Murray, and Karen Allen, which of course is most famous for Indiana Jones, as the love interest of title character. Now, I wouldn't recommend this for kids because there is a lot in here that is a lot of violence and there's a lot of swearing as well. However, for the adults who are watching this, of course 18 plus, you are gonna love it. There are some really great acting pieces in it, lovely little comic moments as well. Okay, so Scrooge takes place in the same way that the Christmas Carol does, but it has been modernised. It is a very good take on it where instead of it being a money collector, he is actually part of a big corporate organisation, and he's one of the bosses, and of course treats all of his office workers with real disdain and doesn't let them go home for Christmas and those kind of things, you know, and really is kind of the real kind of epitome of what we see as like big boss office sort of behaviour. But with this as it's a real dark sort of sense of humour as well, because some of the things that of course we laugh at are probably quite true in some of the way that some office workers have been treated, and also people who have been in those kind of 9-to-5 jobs. But it really does take a really modernised and kind of different look at what a real Scrooge character would be frightened of, what would kind of really sort of pump up the fear for audiences at the time as well. The story follows Frank Ross, who is going through his normal miserable self over Christmas. So he's devised this live broadcast on Christmas Eve where everyone has to work. So he gets visited by his boss, of course, same sort of role taken over by Jacob Marley in the original Christmas Carol. So there he is, he appears to him and warns him about the 3 ghosts that are going to appear to him. Now there is a real difference to the way that they've done these 3 ghosts, and of course it is still Ghost Christmas Past, Ghost Christmas Present and Future, but we all know where that leads. With the first one that turns up, it really is based in a kind of a New York kind of theme going through the whole thing, and each one of the ghosts are not what you would expect at all from a normal Christmas Carol story. I don't want to give it away too much, but each one is kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say a positive ghost or one that sort of seems to be friendly in any way. It's definitely not Casper, I can tell you that for much. The first one that visits him draws up in this cab and takes him off on his sort of past adventures and what's happened to him and what happened to him when he was a kid, then when he sort of met his first love, those kind of things that come across, and of course being the hard shell that he's supposed to be, but with a real good comic feel behind it as well. Bill Murray really delivers on this character who just tries as much as he possibly can to just show that he is that hard man of business and won't be swayed by any of the ghosts, and he won't change his ways. But of course, as the progression goes, you see that he gets different tactics on there to kind of make him see the error of his ways. The second ghost is my absolute favourite, played by Carol Kane, and it is just excellent. The comedy in it is just amazing and really isn't what you expect these 3 ghosts to be like, and the way that they should be trying to persuade him to be a really nice person over Christmas. I don't want to give anything away because it is one of those kind of special treats that you do get, but it is just awesome. Each way that the ghosts are introduced is very different, and it is very kind of it's unexpected the way that they come across and everything, but they are done extremely well, and each one of them really does kind of like leave you on the edge of your seat for scare as well as comedy. This is one of my sort of go-to films whenever Christmas does come on, because I like Christmas a little bit. I like the feeling that you get when you're around family, and that feels really, really good. But Christmas as a whole, I'm not a big believer or anything like that, which is why I kind of need a bit of comedy to see me through. This film definitely has a lot of elements kind of reflecting Tim Burton's style of directing, but it's not. It's Richard Donner. But the film score is definitely done by Danny Elfman, which is just awesome to hear, and I think that's probably what really sort of makes it feel like a Tim Burton film, or Tim Burton-esque film. So there's a lot of dark humour in this, very sort of gothic kind of feel at certain times, especially when he's actually going through the three ghosts. You definitely get that kind of element to it. Practical effects are amazing in this as well, and really hold up with the special effects that at the time, which are just dotted in every so often, just kind of give certain things a real sort of element of sort of horror, as it were. But all of it is really good, and there's a lovely heartfelt story at the end of it, and it really does sort of take it through, and you do kind of fall for the thing that obviously Frank's going through as well. But yeah, highly recommend it for Christmas. I recommend it for any time of the year, really. But it is just one of those sort of sit-down sort of films that I'd probably say when you put your kids to bed. Well, that about wraps it up. So thank you for watching. Have a great Christmas, and bye, Flickers.
Thanks for watching the video, and if you did like it, then please hit the like button, and if you want to see more from us, then please hit subscribe.
And don't forget to leave a comment below, and if you've got any suggestions for films that we should be reviewing in the future, please leave us a nice little message. Oh, and check out our previous videos.
Pump Up the Volume. It's a real favourite of mine, very probably my favourite film